Hello, chef.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, perfectly. We're glad that you so
All right.
thank you for joining us, chef. So for everyone who's here in this live session, and thank you so much for everyone. Uh, we're here with the executive chef, Byan Skelding from the Greenbrier. So picking up on what I was asking to you, chef, would you mind telling us a little bit about your background and more of like what's it like to work in the Greenbrier?
Sure. I mean, my background, I've been in this business now for just about 30 years. I've spent 18 years of that here at the Greenbrier. I did start out here as a second cook, how most all culinarians start out, and then kind of gradually worked my way up through the ranks to saucier, lead chef, sous chef, chef de cuisine, executive sous chef, and then I've been the executive chef here now for the last 9 years. Um, One thing I like to kind of point out is that the J1 program for us is very special. Not only do we have two apprenticeship programs here at the Greenbrier, but we also do we've been doing the J1 training here as well for the last 13 years. So I feel like we have a lot to offer for a lot of the culinarians. We have 14 different kitchens. We have 8 different restaurants, banquets, room service. It's there's a lot to offer. And like anything in life, whatever you put into it, you'll get out of it.
Yes, so it's a great opportunity for all candidates that want to join the Greenbrier. How has been your experience working with placement and with the PI candidates that you've received?
Working with placement's been great. I've known Sam in placement now for, I want to say, almost 3 years. We met during COVID because there were some J1s that were stuck here in the U.S. that could just not get home. And Sam and I kind of met together that way, and we found some great young culinarians through that. And because it worked out so well, we've really just kind of continued that relationship the last 2.5 years. I'd say we probably brought over about maybe 2.5 dozen different culinarians from different parts of the globe. And one thing that always working with Sam obviously is he does truly care about his participants. So that I don't want to work with anyone who doesn't truly care about the culinarians, because obviously everyone's coming from a long way away, and I always try to put myself in their shoes and what it would be like if I was to go, 8, 9, 10,000 miles away from home and go live in another area and work with different people who actually don't even always speak my mother tongue. So overall, and then placements too, get some really good candidates. So we've had some real rock stars that have come here, and it's just great to see them grow, see them come in young. See them, kind of a little nervous, a little shy, and then really grow into some advanced culinarians, and then just keeping in touch with people over the years and seeing what they've kind of done in their home country, other places that they traveled as well.
Quite great. It's amazing to see like so many young talent that you guys have managed to work with. And what are some of the things that like the students can expect working at your kitchen? And what are some of the benefits that the Greenbrier would be able to offer them?
I would say, starting with what they would kind of experience would be, I would say, a disciplined kitchen. It's not for everybody. People, I didn't move to West Virginia. I moved here originally because of the reputation of the Greenbrier, because I wanted to be a really good culinarian. And with those foundations, getting those really underneath your belt, I really feel that you can kind of go really any direction, whether you want to go into catering, banquets, independent restaurants, other resorts, country clubs. So we offer that here. And then, of course, we also offer the many different varieties of kitchens as well. With 14 different kitchens, butcher shop, pastry shop, bake shop. Really we try to tailor the training programs to each of the culinarians based on kind of what their interests are. Of course, with what the business needs are as well too. Always be upfront and honest. One of the reasons I've worked here for so long is because it's a great property to work. It's ever challenging. It's always pushing you. And I would never want to work in a boring kitchen where it's the same thing day in and day out. That's why I kind of start off saying you kind of get out of it what you put into it. Because the opportunities here, there's way too many than you can even get out of a 1-year training plan. And I'm learning new stuff every day. Like I said, I've been here almost 20 years. So It's ever changing, ever evolving. And also too, you get to work with some great people. The American culture here, not only do we have culinarians from all over the globe, whether it be Zimbabwe, South Africa, Budapest, Bratislava, Mexico, Canada, all throughout the U.S., France. I mean, you name it. We have people from all over the place here. So not only are you learning American culture, but you're also going to learn about a lot of other different cultures as well. And you'll meet friends for life. You'll meet friends who you maybe 10 years from now, you may go travel to Zimbabwe, hang out with them for a weekend, grab something to eat. You know, hopefully people are fortunate enough to do that.
It's amazing to see so many cultures brought together. What's like an anecdote or something like really touching that you've had working with this kind of young students that's truly stuck with you?
You know, the one thing, honestly, that usually sticks with me is everyone's at a different skill level, obviously, in life. And there's some that you could say maybe I take a little bit of a risk with, you know, or maybe not, based on experience, based on, you know, how the interview goes. But every year there's a few that really kind of get to that point where they almost can't finish the race in the beginning. And, you know, there's maybe some tears shed and, you know, some phone calls back home that, you know, I can't do this. This is too much. I miss home. I don't know if I made the right decision. But yet a lot of times those are the same ones that actually make it through. And in the last 10, 11 months that they're here, they're saying, how can I stay longer? Can I extend my J1 training program? Are there other visas available? So that's the one thing I'd say that an anecdote that I'd take away the most is just to see the growth of someone who is in their early 20s and see how young they come in and see, you know, I say we turn, you know, boys and girls into ladies and gentlemen by the time they leave here.
It's amazing, and it's great to see these people grow and develop as professionals. So, Chef, what are also like some of the benefits that the Greenbrier would be able to offer our candidates?
Do we have technical difficulties again, Manuel?
Don't worry. No, I was asking you. So it's amazing to see these people grow. So what are some of the benefits that they would get at the Greenbrier, these young people who come to work with you at your kitchen?
Sure. So the one obviously is probably my favorite is, you know, hopefully everyone is able to at least go out and enjoy a couple of different restaurants on their day or days off. We do have 50% off in all the restaurants of all, you know, food items. So that is huge because I think it's super important as a culinarian. If you work in a kitchen or kitchens, you really should be able to try to get out and see the other side of it. A lot of times when we're behind these walls, behind these stoves, we don't always perhaps realize or remember that there's paying guests on the other side of that in the dining rooms. So that to me is a huge benefit because I think 50% off is extremely fair. Although there are some open kitchens here at the Greenbrier where you can see that, but there are, you know, kind of standard kitchen isn't always where you can see the diners. As well as there's a ton of activities. There's 52, 53 activities. They're always kind of updating and changing. So whether you're into like shooting shotguns or going golfing, whitewater rafting is huge. If you've never actually gone to do falconry, you name it. And it really almost any activity here has a discount, and some of them are actually even free. There's of course other discounts throughout property, whether it be in the retail shops, you get 50% off, things like that. So there's also no parking here. Sorry, not no parking. There's free parking here for those that maybe want to drive. One thing that we're fortunate is that we are literally right downtown White Sulphur Springs. So most J1s just walk to and from work. It's about a 5 or 10 minute walk. I do think that's a huge benefit maybe to some other, you know, large properties that are maybe in the middle of nowhere, kind of like how we are. And then I'd probably just say the benefit of just meeting different people, I think is huge. I haven't been to any other properties where there's this much of a diverse food and beverage / culinary team anywhere that I've seen before. So you just learn so much while you're here.
That's amazing. And what would you consider the ambience, the environment in your kitchen to be like and in the Greenbrier?
I would say when someone first starts, it can feel a little bit intense, just because we're very focused. I can tell you that, you know, think of it almost like a sports game where they're playing football or something like that. You know, practice. You know, you got to be a little bit serious. There's probably a little bit of, you know, There's some fun being had, obviously, but sometimes when service starts, everyone's kind of got their game face on. So that's why I kind of, mentioned in the beginning that it really is for serious culinarians. We talk pretty much at the same tone throughout the day. This is not Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay or anything like that. I truly believe that having a positive environment really creates and pulls the best out of people. I think that's one thing as a manager that's always kind of been, how can I get better every day? It's how can I kind of get that diamond out of the rough? How can I polish another young culinarian who is maybe, just needs a little bit extra mentoring or a little bit extra training or just a little bit better direction. And we've been doing this for a while now, and we do take a lot of pride in it. So we are going to help, we are going to assist. We don't want to see anyone fail, but that is also mutual. Things aren't just handed to you on a silver platter. Do we have specs? Yes. Do we have recipes? Yes. Do we have a full team? Yes. But it is a relationship that is super important, and we both sides need to be completely invested in that.
All right, perfect. What would be your advice for candidates that truly want to join your team and who want to make an impact in the Greenbrier?
I would say number one, invest in yourself, and that would be investing in tools, investing in a nice set of knives, a nice knife roll, some nice spoons, spatulas, and things like that. Because at the end of the day, those are some of the most important things besides the people working next to you, because you're just going to become that efficient. Rather than using a small spoon and taking 10 times to plate up a component on a dish, you have the perfect size spoon and you plate it once. That could cut down a couple hundred steps throughout, the course of a service. Because at the end of the day, we're all one machine, and we're trying to put everything up in a timely fashion. And then going back to just investing in yourself is, read different books, check out different videos, do the time. I do expect everyone to come in when they're scheduled, to punch in on time, to have fun. I expect a positive attitude from everybody. I think that's important. We don't need anyone, and again, I know we're all human and we get to that point sometimes, but it's better to, maybe say, hey, hey, Brian, do you have 10 minutes? Can I chat with you a little bit later today? I have a couple issues I want to go over, or maybe another chef de cuisine, something like that. We're happy to do that. But I would definitely say invest in yourself, and, do things that maybe you think that you can't do. Things only grow outside the comfort zone. And that's sometimes hard when you're first getting started, because it kind of all feels like it's uncomfortable.
Of course, it's not always easy to face new challenges.
It's not.
Thank you so much, Chef. Is there anything else you would like to tell our candidates before we move on to the questions they may have?
No, if I think of anything, we'll see how the questions go, and I'll try to give it some thought, see if there's anything maybe we didn't cover.
Okay, perfect. We've received some questions.
Okay.
So we have someone that it's actually a past J1 trainee in Greenbrier, and they say that it's actually a pretty nice place to learn. We've also got a question from someone who says, let me just give a second. How is the remuneration they would get at the Greenbrier? What are some of beyond just getting money, what are some of the benefits that maybe they would be able to experience, or some of the facilities they would have that would make it easier for them?
What was the first part of that question again? I understood the benefits and the things that would make it easier for them, but if you could repeat that first part, please.
Beyond what is the monetary gain, like how much they would be aspiring to gain, or how much they would feel like they would be earning during this internship.
Like how much does it pay an hour?
Yes, the stipend.
So the stipend, sure. So we pay $13.50 an hour. And then of course, in the United States, there's overtime after the 40 hours a week rule. That'd be time and a half. So that's around 19 something and some change. And I'll be honest, it may sound, if someone is interviewing in New York City, or a larger city, you're going to make a few more bucks than that. But I can promise you, the cost of living here is going to be much cheaper. There's really no need for transportation, so you can walk to and from work. All of our uniforms are provided by the Greenbrier and laundered by the Greenbrier. So all you need to do is turn in a dirty uniform, they'll give you a clean one.
Perfect. We also have people asking if you've taken people from the TN visa program in the Greenbrier.
Yes, we actually have a couple of culinarians right now here on the TN visa. The TN visa is only available through Mexico and Canada, though. There's no other countries that have the TN visa.
Right. And someone asks, what are some of the qualities that you would look for in the candidates that would apply?
Great question. I usually look, if I ask them about a food question, I usually look to see how big their smile is. I look to see how much maybe passion is in their face or in their eyes. Because there are some people that I've interviewed over the years that maybe really enjoy just cooking at home, and they maybe think this is a career for them. Maybe it's not. So in that regard, I try to look at experience, try to get an idea on maybe how much they push themselves into maybe extracurricular activities. Even so, and I get the pandemic, there's numerous countries that have not been able to, they went years without reopening some areas. So at the end of the day, I'd really try to figure out attitude and work ethic, because also too, sometimes those are the culinarians that are most hungry because they haven't worked in a while. They're super excited to get in there, and really just give it their all, make some money, learn some stuff, go back to their, go back to where they, what they refer to as home. And it really helps them kind of jumpstart the next level in their career, because I think they show their employers independence, outside their comfort zone. I think going to the United States is super important. I think it's great to understand that knowledge and the vast culinary background that we have here in the United States, especially at the Greenbrier with the different cultures that we have.
It's amazing. Actually, building up a little bit on that, we have people from very specific backgrounds who want to know, like, what are some of the positions and what they can actually join while being in the culinary Greenbrier.
Sure. So we do. We have a couple different positions. We have what we call. We pretty much bring everyone in what's titled like a second cook position. So that's something where we have second cooks in really every single kitchen around property. We do two different types of training plans. We do a pastry training plan. Sorry, pastry and baking, and then we also do a savory training plan. Two very different programs, obviously, because pastry and bake shop is like the savory, where they do nearly everything from scratch. To the best that we can. So there's a bake shop and there's pastry chefs that also work down there. That's usually a team of about 32 people, sometimes even as high as 36 or so during full season. And then there's also, besides culinary, we also do some front of the house J1 training programs as well too. So they may work in like a runner situation, or even a server position as well, depending maybe on their experience. Again, I know Amy Hoke, who does the recruiting for the front of the house, is also looking for the same things: nice smile, great attitude, positive outlook on life, because we always feel those are the people that are the most trainable, and they're the people that we want in front of the guests and cooking for the guests.
That's amazing. One final question we have is, what are the chances for sponsorship by the Greenbrier? People want to remain at the Greenbrier after their internship?
So one thing that we started doing this year, I have an immigration lawyer, and we do H-2B visas. So the H-2B process, as I'm working on that for this next year, 2023, there's actually about 94, I have a list of about 94 culinarians that have worked here over the probably past 7 or 8 years that would love to come back here on an H-2B visa. And again, that's kind of a visa that can be renewed. No, I'm sorry, not renewed, but the Greenbrier has to renew it every year and then offer it to those to the highest qualified candidates. So that's what I'll be doing in January. So especially be looking at the Philippines, also probably South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mexico, or some of those countries where I'll be offering some H-2Bs from, depending, of course, that we meet the cap and that we're able to get all of those. That's really the best option that I've found over all these years is try to get to that H-2B visa.
Perfect. I believe that's the last question we have. Thank you so much for being here, Chef.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I do apologize for the issues in the beginning of the interview.
No worries. It's technical difficulties. We all face them sometimes.
Yeah.
So everyone who's interested in joining the Greenbrier, you can apply through Placement International. Please don't forget to send your CV in English to info@placement-int.com. And please do follow Chef at Byan Skelding and the Greenbrier at the underscore Greenbrier. Thank you for everyone for joining us, and thank you again, Chef. Have a great day.
Thank you, Manuel. You too. Have a great day.